The NFL Today on CBS Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines.
And welcome back to the NFL Today, where Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL, takes you first on the field. The Dolphins and Packers are about to do battle, so let's head out to Green Bay, where Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts are standing by. Gentlemen.
JB, it's the 288th consecutive sellout here at renowned Lambeau Field. Only the 13th time that these two teams have faced each other. The Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. We've got it for you today right here on CBS. The headline this week for Green Bay: injuries. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered a concussion last week and a loss to Washington after getting medical clearance on Thursday. Rodgers will make his 39th straight start today. And here come the Packers at Lambeau. And we welcome you to the broadcast booth. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. There's nothing quite like a Sunday here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, and it's not as if these two teams play all that often. First time that the Miami Dolphins have been to Green Bay since 2002. The timing for both teams, Dan, very critical right now.
Well, and both these teams have two losses. The Packers have dropped two of their last three. The Dolphins are off a bye week after that embarrassing loss to New England at home. I know it's early in the season, but this is a huge win for both these teams.
All right, let's get into the injuries. We talked about Aaron Rodgers. He is in there for the Green Bay Packers, but there are some other question marks on offense for Green Bay. That includes Jermichael Finley. Tight end suffered a knee injury last week. Looked like he was going to be a big standout for the Packers this year. He's out for at least 10 weeks. Mark Tauscher, starting right tackle, is also out once again on that offensive line. Defensively, Dan, some issues as well.
And probably bigger issues as far as the pass rush is concerned. Clay Matthews leads the league in sacks with 8.5. He's out today. Pickett, he's out today. A couple of linebackers are out today. And with linebackers out, that could affect the special teams.
Well, the Miami Dolphins are coming off a bye week, so it has been 13 days since the Dolphins have played. Mike McCarthy knows they are a fresh team, and he believes his team is going to be able to match the energy of the Dolphins. Questions about special teams. That's a huge, huge question mark. We'll get into that storyline with the Dolphins, but really questions about their offense and what their personality is going to be.
And when you have questions about your offense, it always tends to be about your quarterback. Chad Henne has thrown for a good percentage this year, but he continues to make some young quarterback mistakes. Today, he'll have to get the ball out quickly, and he could really benefit from a strong running attack. That means the 1-2 punch of Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. Both are averaging about what they did last year, but they're just not getting as many carries because the Dolphins have been behind. They've had to throw. They need to run the ball well today to set up the play-action passing game so Henne could get the ball downfield to his wide receivers, Bess and Marshall.
And time right now for today's Home Depot Tools to Victory.
Well, for the Dolphins, offensive coordinator Dan Henning is looking for Brandon Marshall to be more of a target in the intermediate zones today against the Packers. The Packers, of course, will counter with the multi-talented Charles Woodson. Defensive coordinator Dom Capers wants to use Woodson as a corner, a safety, a nickel, and a dime player today. Well, with 15 players on the injuries list, it's like Vince Lombardi would say, tape an aspirin to it. Yet sometimes you just got to play hurt. For Miami, special teams have been a disaster all season long. 2 punts have been blocked, 1 field goal block, and a kickoff return for a touchdown. Nothing special there.
For more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. The Green Bay Packers have won 6 in a row at home. Big one today in the Midwest. Packers and Dolphins on CBS.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Mid-October here in Green Bay and unseasonably warm. 55 degrees, supposed to hit about 60 when it's all said and done. Clear skies the rest of the afternoon for the Dolphins and the Packers. Tony Sperano, He said the team has addressed the special team issues, won't know the progress until they actually see it on the field. And Mike McCarthy, these injuries, he said injuries do come in phases. He has the confidence that these guys are going to step in, the young guys, and get an opportunity to play and come through. Dan Carpenter kicking off to Jordy Nelson. Packers won the toss, and Nelson is hit hard as he crossed the 25-yard line by Patrick Cobbs on special teams. 18-yard return for Green Bay. That's where they will open things up. Aaron Rodgers, 293 yards last week in that loss to Washington. Key interception late in overtime, and on that play, he suffered the concussion in OT. I know you like the way that he runs this offense down.
He wants an up-tempo offense today. Acknowledge that losing Jermichael Finley is huge, so he's looking for Greg Jennings to have a big day.
1st and 10 at the 26 for Green Bay. First play from scrimmage. Handoff. It's Jackson running through the line, and Jackson able to get through it for a 4-yard pickup, brought down at the 30 by Kendall Langford. Take a look at the starting Green Bay offense. A change on the O-line again. Mark Tauscher is out, and Brian Balaga, the rookie out of Iowa, getting another opportunity at right tackle. Backs and receivers. Now, you talked about Jennings. The numbers just are not there, not what he's grown accustomed to. Jennings, early season now, 14 catches, 183 yards in 5 games. It's on pace for a 45 reception season. On second down, it's Jackson looking for a hole, and it's nothing there. Gets past the line of scrimmage, picks up 2. Channing Crowder there defensively, and what a jolt he should bring to this Miami defense, making his season debut. Crowder has been dealing with a groin injury. Take a look at the Miami starting defense, and Randy Starks moving to the outside. Jared Odrick, the rookie out of Penn State, still not ready to come back. Linebackers, we mentioned Crowder. Dolphins are excited to see Crowder with Dansby at that second level. And in the secondary, Vontae Davis is an emerging star in the NFL in his second year out of Illinois. On a 3rd and 4 movement, and a flag comes down. Rodgers throwing, deep ball down the sideline. Incomplete. He was looking to hit James Jones as Rodgers took another hit. This is becoming a trend for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he's been a target, and he's been hit illegally.
Offside. Defense number 94. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Ed Hockley, 19th season as an NFL referee. Randy Starks offsides, and Green Bay will get a first down.
Here's Koamisi coming in with a legal shot to the back of Rodgers. Rodgers saw Starks jump into the neutral zone, saw the flag fly. He's disappointed that Jones could not come up with that catch. That was a free play for the Packers, and Rodgers smartly went downfield for the bomb.
Aaron has said he makes a point before the game to talk to the officials. He admits that he's got a referee media guy to learn more about them and try to build a relationship, but he just has not been getting the benefit of calls this season and parts of last season.
Well, he knows Hockley likes to work out a lot.
I think we all know that. Rodgers throwing, and makes the connection to Crabtree. Tom Crabtree, first year out of Miami, Ohio. They're looking for players to step forward. He's a backup tight end, formerly on the Kansas City practice squad, and it covers 33 yards.
Just his second catch of the year. Here he is right here doing his best Jermichael Finley imitation. Look at that throw. Linebacker trying to cover from the inside as Dansby, but Dansby had his back to the quarterback. And you can see stumbles just a bit. In fact, that strike from Rodgers almost knocked Crabtree over.
Finley out. Cartilage damage in his right knee. Had surgery. Could miss up to 10 weeks. They have to make a decision about injured reserve list. Handoff up the middle. It's Jackson, and about 3 yards there for Jackson with forward progress. Well, what kind of week has it been for Aaron Rodgers? When you suffer a concussion, the way things are set up in the NFL, the new post-concussion tests. Monday, he failed the impact test. On Tuesday, he failed the balance test. Wednesday, started to get it together, passed both tests, and then on Thursday, he passed the independent neurosurgeon test, was able to practice. Friday, he practiced without any symptoms.
And looks sharp so far today. 2 balls right on target.
Jackson, 8 yards on the ground. Dime package here for Miami. Green Bay is on the move inside the 30-yard line of the Dolphins. Shotgun formation. Rodgers, protection holds up. Now he's out of the pocket. Rodgers on the move, throwing, incomplete. He threw it away. Koamisi, the rookie out of Utah, again supplying some of the heat. Defensive end in college, playing linebacker for Miami. He is a big hitter and a high motor.
Yeah, the Defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, Mike Nolan, says that so many of these college defensive ends make the transition to outside linebacker, and the toughest part of that is playing pass defense. You saw Misi put pressure on Rodgers earlier. That time you saw him in coverage.
So now setting up a 3rd and 7 for Green Bay. Packers trying to keep this drive alive. John Kuhn is checked in. Running back, Rodgers. Timing throw, sideline, and it's over the head of the intended receiver, James Jones. Jason Allen drawing the assignment on the outside, and the Packers now are staring at a field goal attempt.
Yeah, that was good coverage by Allen, although the fans here at Lambeau thought there was a lot of contact down that sidelines. Rodgers, I believe, just threw that ball away as well, avoiding the interception.
Mason Crosby on for a 46-yard attempt. He missed a 53-yarder at the end of regulation. It hit the left upright, which would have won the Packers the game in Washington. This from 46 yards away, trying to get the Packers on the board, and Crosby drills it. Green Bay with a 3-0 lead early stages, first quarter. Green Bay scores on its first possession, 7-play, 46-yard drive. Crosby with a 46-yard field goal. 3-0 Packers in front. And Aaron Rodgers making the connection to Tom Crabtree. That was the big play on the drive for 33 yards. So Green Bay will kick it off to Miami. Dolphins come in at 2-2, coming off a bye week. Had that embarrassing 41-14 loss to New England. Week 4, fired their special teams coach, John Bonamigo. Replaced him with Darren Rizzi. Nolan Carroll is the deep man for Miami. And Carroll with a spin move out across the 25-yard line. 20-yard return. Jared Bush getting down on special teams to make the play for Green Bay. Chad Henne in that loss to New England. He did throw for over 300 yards, but he had 3 interceptions.
And today's facing a Packer team that has the second most sacks in the NFL. Anticipation will be key for the Dolphin passing game today. He must get the ball out quickly to his receivers. Best will work the short routes over the middle. Marshall will be Henne's deep threat.
Injuries on this side of the ball, though, for Green Bay. Big ones, including Clay Matthews sitting this one out. Handoff for Ronnie Brown. He's got a blocker, but the hole clogged up quickly. Charles Woodson, who's got a nose for the football, limits him to a gain of maybe a half a yard, depending on the spot. Let's take a look at the starting offense for Miami. Pat McQuiston getting the start once again at right guard. John Jerry is out with an undisclosed illness, so McQuiston, formerly with the Dallas Cowboys, getting a chance at right guard once again. Backs and receivers, big matchup today with Brandon Marshall going against Charles Woodson. Marshall limited to 5 catches for 50 yards in that loss to New England. We'll call it a 2nd and 9. Devon Bess is on as a 3rd receiver. Give is for Brown. Waits. Good patience, and Brown has got a first down. Takes a shot as he got good blocking up front from Berger and Carey. 12-yard gain and a new set of downs for Miami to work with.
Well, with Bess in the game, that forces the Packers to substitute defensive backs. That's just outstanding blocking up front. Vernon Carey with a good block right there. Here's Brandon Marshall on the outside with Tramon Williams. But that was really outstanding patience, as you said, Ian, by Brown, and good blocking.
And a first down for Miami, just short of the 40-yard line. Fasano, the motion man. Henne will throw it up in the air and hauled in. Brandon Marshall. Clean catch working against Williams. So we were curious to see, would it be Woodson against Marshall exclusively, or would they mix and match? And that appears to be the case.
Yeah, Dom Capers said that they want to use Woodson all over the place. They're very confident with Tramon Williams, but he got his feet tangled up there, complaining that Marshall may have pushed off. But what Marshall did there for Chad Henne gives him a lot of confidence. What a huge target. What great range that Marshall has, being able to reach out and catch the ball like that on the sidelines.
And Marshall is one of our colleagues. He was part of the NFL Today last week. He had a great time during his bye week with all the guys in New York. Here's Henne to throw. And too high. He was looking for Devon Bess. Bess is really making a name for himself this year in the NFL with his work out of the slot. Let's take a look at the starting defense for Green Bay. Ryan Pickett is out. His backup Mike Neal is out. So C.J. Wilson, rookie out of East Carolina, 7th-round pick, gets the start at defensive end. Linebackers, Clay Matthews, leading sacker in the NFL, out. So Brady Papinga, 6th-year pro out of BYU, getting the start at outside linebacker. And Charles Woodson, 6-time Pro Bowler, loves the challenge of taking on the elite wide receivers. You'll see that today with Marshall. Try to set it up, and too high, too much on that throw. It was Marshall. Was he in the right spot? Was Henne's throw off the mark? The two were not on the same page.
I think Brad Jones, linebacker for the Packers, got in the throwing lane. Jones goes about 6'3". It's just difficult for Henne to get that quick pass out to Marshall because Jones does such a good job. Here he is right here. Watch him come right up. In motion there is Marshall. And there goes the ball over everybody's head.
So it brings up 3rd and 10. Miami is in Green Bay territory. Packers with a 3-0 lead. Henne with a deep drop. Sets up the long throw and caught by Marshall. Strong strike downfield to the 25-yard line, and it covers 23 yards through the air. Another Miami first down.
Well, that's the thing about Henne. He's got the arm to reach the entire field. And now when you've got a guy with the skills of Marshall at 6'4", his ability to catch the ball that is high in the air over the defense, that's what Dan Henning, their offensive coordinator, wants to do, is get Marshall to be more of a deep threat down the middle of the field.
And a 1st and 10 now, just short of the 25. Give it to Ronnie Brown. Tried to bust it to the outside, and the Packers were ready. He got bunched up with a teammate. No gain on the play. Tramon Williams helping out in run support to make that stop on Ronnie Brown.
Good drive, though, for the Dolphins and for Chad Henne. That 3rd down conversion there, something the Dolphins have done very well this year, well over 50% on 3rd downs. That was a difficult one, and he found his big play receiver and will continue to attack the middle of the Packer defense.
8th play of the drive. Chad Henne, the Packers actually considered taking him in the 2nd round in 2008, but they went with Brian Brohm out of Louisville, who's now with Buffalo, 1 pick ahead of Henne. Henne to throw. Oh, he's got a gun. Caught by Marshall inside the 10, and the Miami Dolphins are knocking on the door. That's a 19-yard hookup with Williams and Pepper there defensively. Miami will have a 1st and goal trying to take the lead here in Green Bay.
And what they're able to do with this passing offense right now, Henne getting the time to throw because Clay Matthews is out, Pickett is out. So he's got time to throw, and the Packers playing zone defense. The big hole right over the middle, deep.
All 3 of his completions have come to Marshall, covering 55 yards. 9th play of the drive. On a 1st and goal from the 6. Up the middle, Ronnie Brown carrying some tacklers with him, and he's able to pick up 3.5 on the play. 2nd and goal coming up for Miami.
This is where it's such an asset for Miami on their running attack to have a Ronnie Brown at 230 pounds, a Ricky Williams that goes 230. Both of them very good between the tackles, keep their legs driving, allow that offensive line to just push that Packer defense back and hopefully get in the end zone for Miami.
2nd and goal. Dolphins trying to take the lead. Inside handoff. It's Polite. He gets cut down. B.J. Raji fully prepared on the interior, and it's a 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, at 340 pounds, B.J. right here, number 90. Watch the job he does. He doesn't go for this fake at all. He reads the blocks, beats the block, gets down inside, beat Richie Incognito that time. Big tackle by B.J. Raji.
Long drive, first possession for Miami, 11th play. 3rd and goal for the Dolphins. Packers lead 3-0. Brown in the backfield. Henne wants to throw for it. Fires and complete. Touchdown, Miami. Devon Bess. Dolphins take the lead here in the 1st quarter.
That's just the 2nd touchdown reception for Devon Bess. His 23rd catch of the year. A huge catch for Tony Sperano and the Dolphins. Left side of the screen, you see, look at the pass protection, the throwing lane, the strike, the touchdown. It's all there for Miami.
Devon Bess now in his 3rd year out of Hawaii. Caps off that 11-play, 74-yard drive with a 2-yard touchdown from Chad Henne. Carpenter adds the extra point. The Miami Dolphins on the road where they're perfect. They've got a 7-3 lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Dodge Challenger. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
(7-3) Miami leading Green Bay. 6:52 to go in this first quarter. Pat Lee, the return man for the Packers, and Lee forced towards the sideline, thrown out of bounds right around the 25-yard line by Patrick Cobbs. That's a real cheesehead right there. Impressive. Check out the new CBSSports.com shop for officially licensed NFL gear. Get 3-day shipping on every order. Go to shop.cbssports.com. Dolphins leading the Packers 7-3. John Kuhn is in there along with Corey Hall in the backfield. First and 10 at the 24 for the Packers. Handoff for Kuhn, who got slowed down behind the line of scrimmage, was able to keep his footing and hits the 30-yard line. Good run by Kuhn, formerly a backup fullback, versatile player, Division II product out of Shippensburg. He picks up 5.5 yards on the play. Jeremiah Bell there for Miami.
Good job by Kuhn, though. He avoided Bell in the backfield, jumped over him, and got down the field for that 5-yard gain on first down. That's a huge gain on first down to keep the Packers in a situation where they can throw or run.
Aaron Rodgers so far 1 of 3 for 33 yards. Miami had 74 yards on that opening drive. They'll keep it on the ground. Brandon Jackson is checked in. No running lane for him as he picks up a yard on the play. Channing Crowder ranging over to make the play for the Dolphins.
Well, Brandon Marshall has 3 catches for 55 yards. He's going to go to the corner, best down to the inside, but Marshall is going to influence both Charles Woodson and the nickel back there, and that opens up the lane inside for Bess, and a fine throw by Chad Henne.
So now a 3rd and 4 for the Packers. Line of scrimmage is the 30-yard line. Kuhn back in there for Green Bay. Shotgun formation for Rodgers. Rodgers to throw. Tried the quick hitter, and it was broken up. Looking to make the connection over the middle with Greg Jennings, but Benny Sapp in as an extra defensive back makes that play for Miami, and the Green Bay offense stalls right there.
Well, if Sapp doesn't make this play, this ball is going to go all the way to the end zone. He just does a super job of laying out, getting both hands on that ball, and keeping Jennings from a huge play. There was nobody behind Sapp. That would have been a touchdown.
First-year punter Tim Mastay, with Devon Bess standing at his own 25. Bess fields cleanly at the 29. Zigzag move by Bess. And brought down as he crossed the 40-yard line. Solid field position after the 41-yard punt, a 12-yard return. And the Dolphins in front, 7-3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. And by Denny's new Build Your Own Omelet. Choose from 17 different ingredients and make your own omelet your own way.
Dolphins in front of the Green Bay Packers. Last 2 games, you look at the breakdown in terms of play selection. 90 passes for Miami, 43 running plays. This is a team that certainly looked at itself as a ground and pound type of offense in the past. Henne throwing, and boy, has Brandon Marshall ever been involved early. Tramon Williams, the defender, as we get an NFL Today update to New York and James Brown.
Hey, Ian, I'm sure Dan would expect this in Roethlisberger's first offensive series. He completed his first 2 passes, but missed times on that one. Picked off by the rookie Joe Hayden. He returns it 62 yards for the Browns. Phil Dawson capitalizes on the turnover. The field goal is good. Cleveland on top of Pittsburgh, 3-0. Ian and Dan.
Now, I don't care what your playing resume is. It's got to be some rust after the long layoff for Ben Roethlisberger, and it's showing itself against the Browns. Henne throwing, and it's Marshall again. Brandon Marshall lining up this side on the other side of the field. Tramon Williams following him, and Brandon Marshall with his 5th catch of the afternoon.
Yeah, he's on pace now to catch 100 balls today. We saw him last year against Indianapolis. He caught an NFL record 21, but 5 already. And you see there got all types of variety here, over the middle to the outside. Just an outstanding target for Chad Henne, and Henne getting real comfortable throwing to 19.
And Marshall getting a breather all along that Miami sideline. Handoff. Ricky Williams getting an opportunity right up the gut. And Williams out across the 45 for a 6-yard gain. Time for another update. Back to the Big Apple and JB.
Ian and Dan, Kevin Cobb doing his part to lay claim to the starting quarterback position. Here's a second touchdown for the Eagles. Up top to Deshaun Jackson, the speedster, 34-yard connection. Cobb, 2 of 3, 56 yards and a touchdown. 14-0 Philly. Ian and Dan.
Dan, do you think that's a good problem, though, for Philadelphia right now?
I think it's an excellent problem. How many teams would like to have that problem?
On a handoff, it's Ricky Williams busting his way out across the 35. Great block by McQuiston to help spring him loose for a 9-yard pickup and a new set of downs for Miami to work with.
Well, let's check out McQuiston, 79 right there. He really pushes his man down inside there, working on Cullen Jenkins. Got to give Jenkins a lot of credit, though. He's playing with a broken left hand. He's got a cast on that hand, but that time McQuiston just caved him in. Again, another good run between the tackles for the Dolphins.
And Ricky Williams inching closer to Larry Zonka for first on the Dolphins' all-time rushing list. This time it's inside for Lou Polite. Desmond Bishop, first man there. A.J. Hawk helping as well. 4-yard pickup as Miami is methodically moving the football once again.
Well, you would expect this type of emphasis on the offense from a head coach, Tony Sperano, who used to be an offensive line coach. He had a bye week to work out some of the wrinkles, get back to the basics, and when it's getting back to the basics offensively for the Dolphins, you're seeing it. It's running the ball and then play action passing.
Yeah, he told us they spent extra time on red zone, on third downs, on pressures. Henne with a moving pocket. And Henne throws it away, incomplete. What do you think of Chad Henne in our sit down with Henne? And he's been getting some flack in the Miami area for his performance against the Patriots and how his development has gone. What's your impression of Henne and where he's at in his NFL career?
Well, that's just it. This is just his second year as a starting quarterback. I mean, give him a break a little bit. I know he went to Michigan. He played a lot of games there, but you're seeing today a much more polished quarterback. That throwing the ball away there, he might have thrown that into coverage last year or even earlier this year.
7th play of the drive, 3rd and 6. Henne in the pocket. Henne rifles. Oh, great hands. Brian Hartline has got a first down. Out near the 20-yard line. That's a 9-yard hookup. And this drive continues for the Dolphins.
Yeah, in front of Sam Shields. Hartline, who caught this ball laying on the ground. And how about the throw by Henne, seeing Hartline having trouble with his footing? He throws one on the black outside corner, strike.
1st and 10 at the 21 for the Dolphins. 8 first downs for Miami, and Henne and the Dolphins use a timeout.
That's their first.
1:22 to play. First quarter, Miami up and looking for more.
Watching the NFL on CBS.
Gaping hole for Green Bay defensively. Clay Matthews leads the NFL with 8.5 sacks. Left hamstring injury. Missed most of training camp. Suffered it third quarter last week. And Green Bay's defense suffered as a result against the Washington Redskins, who came from behind to win the game. On a 1st and 10. Henne sets and fires. Intercepted. Battle for the football. Tramon Williams. And he won it. Picked off by Williams. Trying to feed it to Brandon Marshall.
Well, that's just an outstanding break on the ball by Tramon Williams. He slips a little bit even and still had time to get to the ball. Henne threw the ball a little bit to the inside to Marshall, but give Williams a lot of credit.
Green Bay intercepted the pass.
Watch
hit the
this
ground,
play.
rolled over, and was
It's a
down
deep
by
out route
contact.
by
Green
Brandon
Bay's ball,
Marshall.
First down.
Watch as Williams sees the break, slips there, still has the ability to recover, but you can see the ball thrown too far to the inside. And that's one of those mistakes we talked about with Henne. Got to throw that ball away from the defender.
Back-to-back weeks for Tramon Williams. Had a 64-yard interception return last week in that loss to Washington. He's got a pick here in the first quarter today. 7-3 Miami. Packers take over. Deep in their own territory. Play fake. Well sold. Rodgers dials up the deep ball and separation. Greg Jennings. Jennings has got the step. And Jennings will take it all the way. Touchdown Packers. What a turn of events. 86 yards for the touchdown.
Rodgers gets Jennings involved, and the crowd loves it. After the turnover, just takes him one play. How about the throw by Aaron Rodgers?
Mason Crosby on for the extra point. Packers lead at 10-7. Home run ball. Rodgers to Jennings.
It's a post route. No help in the middle of the field. Jeremiah Bell hesitates right there, number 37. What a great move to the outside. And then to the post, the ball right on the fingertips. It's a foot race from here. And it's a longest touchdown reception in Jennings' career. 84 yards from Aaron Rodgers.
Tramon Williams with an interception as they were attempting to get the football to Brandon Marshall, and then the Packers turned it into 7 quick points. Nolan Carroll faked on the give, and Carroll takes the opening and brought down at the 34-yard line by Tramon Williams, doing a lot of work here for the Packers. 36-yard return, longest throw in the career of Aaron Rodgers as well.
Here's Jeremiah Bell. He's the weak safety. The move here to the outside and then to the post by Jennings is just perfect. But watch Bell. He's got middle of the field. That hesitation right there, and then that move right there. I'm not sure what he's reading. And a perfect pass from Rodgers. 86 yards. Touchdown.
Ball at the 34. Miami gets the football back, but trailing now 10-7. Ronnie Brown. Hesitation, and Brown able to take it through the middle. Brought down to the 39. It was Bishop who missed initially. Give him a gain of 5 on the play. Well, Packers told us with Finley out, Jennings would see more opportunities. I think there's some Packer fans that were questioning where have these opportunities been in the previous weeks.
Well, Jermichael Finley is such a unique talent that you try to get him the ball, and there's so many mismatches because of his size and athletic ability. But boy, Dolphins should be looking for Jennings just a touch, don't you think?
On a 2nd and 5, Brown, little shake and bake out across the 40-yard line, and he picks up 3 yards through the middle. Frank Zombo there defensively, and that'll be the final play of this first quarter. The Green Bay Packers with a 10-7 lead over the Miami Dolphins. The bomb from Rodgers to Jennings to put the Packers in front. We'll return to Lambeau after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Special teams coach Darren Rizzi, who replaced John Bonamigo, who was fired last week. Dolphins against New England had a punt and field goal block. The field goal went back for a touchdown. Also had a kick return against them for a touchdown, and then an interception return for a touchdown, just to add insult to injury after the special teams issues. Rodgers, play fake. Rodgers, high throw over the head of Donald Driver. Incomplete. Let's go back to the punt, which actually traveled 29 yards.
And right in the middle here, you're going to see Quinn Johnson. He's going to beat the block of Bobby Carpenter. And then he lays out, just barely gets a thumb on this ball. So this is not considered a blocked punt, but it certainly has to be of concern to Tony Sperano and the Dolphins special teams unit.
Quinn Johnson, a fullback, a converted linebacker out of LSU. Rodgers trying to set up the screen. He does. And Jackson cut down. Guess who? Channing Crowder, playing in his first game of the season, limits him to a 2-yard gain. Crowder, a groin injury. And Miami thrilled to have him back on the field. Well, for Miami, they've had issues. On punts, Eric Smith, the block of Brandon Fields against the Jets. And New England, Pat Chung with the block punt on Fields.
And they had 2 punts blocked in the preseason.
This is now a 3rd and 8. Packers are 0 of 2 on 3rd down conversions. Movement on that right side of the Miami defensive line. Did Chad Clifton move on the left side of that Green Bay offensive line?
Full start, offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, it's 3rd down.
And Hockley with the call. It was on the left side, but it was the guard, Darren College.
Yeah, all it takes is just a little flinch. Here's College right there next to Chad Clifton. And that will draw the penalty. Easy call. And good reaction by the Dolphins to jump into the neutral zone after the flinch by College.
So back it up. A 3rd and 13 now for Green Bay. Spread formation with Rodgers working out of the shotgun. Rodgers looking downfield. Wide open over the middle. Andrew Quarles, rookie out of Penn State. And they believe that Quarles can be a factor in this offense. 5th round draft pick. The opportunity is there. Finley out. Donald Lee banged up with a chest injury.
So the first pass completion is to backup tight end Tony Crabtree for 33. Now Quarles gets one. He goes for 23. So it's like Mike McCarthy said, you know, we've got enough players here. We're going to run our offense. We're going to miss Finley, but we've got these other guys. 4 completions now for Rodgers to 4 different players.
144 yards through the air and a touchdown for Aaron Rodgers. They are now in Miami territory, having crossed the 50. Play fake, Rodgers stepping up. And Rodgers bottled up back in Green Bay territory. Randy Starks there defensively. That will go down as a sack for Miami. Let's go back to New York. NFL Today update, JB.
All right, Ian and Dan, Ben Roethlisberger making amends for that pick earlier. Pump fakes goes up top to Mike Wallace, 29-yard pass. That caps an 11-play, 81-yard drive. Roethlisberger, 6 of 8, 73 yards, 1 touch, 1 pick. All right, back to Ian and Dan.
And Pittsburgh in front. Ben Roethlisberger back with the Steelers and certainly have to be considered one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Rodgers throwing and dropped. Jordy Nelson. They had a bunch of drops last week. You asked Aaron Rodgers, was that the most drops he's ever had? And he went back to his college days. He said his first collegiate game against Illinois, the Cal Bears had 9 drops on him. That was the lasting memory that he had. He knew the number exactly.
We have a way of remembering those type of things.
Yeah,
and we also remember who those 9 guys were.
Right.
8 drops last week for Rodgers.
Yeah, he's not bitter, and you're not bitter either, I'm sure.
Well, you know, let's not talk about interceptions now. Let's keep it on the receivers.
But it was a problem last week against Washington. Play clock is down to 2. It's down to 1. They get the snap off. And Rodgers, incomplete and almost intercepted. He was trying to hit James Jones, but Jason Allen there defensively for Miami. The Packers are forced to punt.
Yeah, these are very aggressive corners. Jason Allen and Vontae Davis. Good reaction by Davis right here. Knows it's the quick slant coming. He just jumps right in front of James Jones. Perfect timing, no pass interference, and almost an interception.
So Tim Mastay back out. First team All-SEC as a senior at Kentucky. Devon Best waiting for it. This one towards the sideline and unreturnable. Miami will be deep in its own territory, trailing 10-7.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. We understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by the all-new Volkswagen Jetta. It's great for the price of good. That's Das Auto.
Back here in Green Bay, and we at CBS would like to pass along our condolences to the Packers family this week on the passing of Vernon Beaver. He was the NFL's first ever team photographer, started back in 1946 for over half a century. He chronicled everything Packers from the Curly Lambeau to Favre eras, including 6 NFL titles, 3 Super Bowls. Vernon Beaver died on Wednesday at the age of 87. These indelible images of NFL history, and his legacy lives on. His son Jim Beaver, there he is on the left, is the team photographer, and he's working this Packers-Dolphins matchup here today.
I wonder what Vernon would say about that lens, though, you know?
Yeah.
That's cheating, isn't it?
He didn't have those kind of lenses when he was taking some of those great shots.
Lasting, boy. Great pictures.
You feel the history when you come to this town. 1st and 10, ball is at the 9-yard line. Henne play fake. Henne throws, and it's complete. A slippery slope, but he's got Marshall for a first down. 18 yards through the air.
Looked like it went right through the hands of A.J. Hawk, too. Here's Hawk, number 50 there. No, actually, it's the outside linebacker there. Great reaction. Brad Jones looked like he got his fingers on it, or is it Frank Zombo? A lot of substitution. That's Zombo. He can't believe he didn't pick that one off.
So Zombo, the rookie out of Central Michigan, had an opportunity there. Instead, it turns into a first down for the Dolphins out across the 25. Handoff. Ricky Williams spilled out as the Packers built a wall there. Maybe a gain of a half a yard on the play. The new NFL.com mobile apps have arrived. No matter where you are, you can track scores, set fantasy lineups, and get highlights of your team's big plays. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. Now Packers have to mix and match a lot of defensive players because of the injuries to Clay Matthews and Ryan Pickett and Mike Neal. Derek Martin, a safety, out for the season. Brandon Chiller is out with a shoulder injury. Henne on a toss for Ricky Williams, and Williams goes down pretty much initially. Desmond Bishop there defensively. Something we grew very used to the last couple of years, the Wildcat with Miami. Time right now for our Fouts Focus.
Yeah, the offense known as Wildcats been studied and studied by teams throughout the league. All will tell you the key is not worry about the threat of the pass or mounting a pass rush. Play the run by controlling the gaps and forcing Ronnie Brown back into the heart of the defense. Blitzes by safeties and corners have been very effective in declawing the Wildcat to the tune of 1.6 yards per carry this year.
Well, we have not seen the Wildcat here today. Tony Sperano told us they did work on some Wildcat this week, trying to get back to the basics of it. Henne throwing underneath Devon Bess, and Bess is going to come up short of a first down. Just shy of the 35, 7-yard gain, and it's 4th down for Miami. Where is the Wildcat? 17 plays for 27 yards this year. This was a very effective formation each of the last 2 years for Sperano and company.
I'm not sure we'll see much more of it today because the Packers have not been able to establish any type of pass rush, so there's no sense in running it. Just let Henne go back in the pocket and throw.
Brandon fields the punt. No problems on that one. Tremont Williams. And a fair catch called for back at the 17-yard line. 10-7, Packers leading the Dolphins. Second quarter action continues. Green Bay Packers with a 10-7 lead over the Miami Dolphins. 8:56 to go in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew with you at Lambeau. And the Packers have it with a 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Corey Hall and Quinn Johnson in a jumbo backfield. That play never got going, and Rodgers able to get rid of it. Connects with Greg Jennings, so it didn't look pretty. Not the way they drew it up, but it's still effective. 9 yards through the air.
Well, he's going to trip over his center, Scott Wells' feet, as he's coming back here, then run into the running back. That's Kuhn there. Keeps his wits about himself, and fortunately had a wide open Greg Jennings on the outside.
So Rodgers now 5 of 11, 153 yards and a touchdown. 39th consecutive start for him. Inside handoff. You hear the fans reacting to John Kuhn, who had 27 school records at Shippensburg, former member of the Pittsburgh practice squad. He's been a survivor here in the NFL. And tomorrow on CBS, Hawaii Five-0 is turning up the heat and laying down the law. Don't miss TV's #1 news show. It's Hawaii Five-0 tomorrow, only CBS. Tropic conditions here in Green Bay today. Temperature hitting 60 degrees. First down, Brandon Jackson. Jackson takes the running lane, and Jackson with a strong run. Chad Clifton on that left side with a block. He picks up 9 yards on the play.
He really does a nice job of protecting the ball, too, in traffic. He's going to hit off the left side behind Clifton and College there. Corey Hall with a good block, but watch both hands on the ball. Vontae Davis comes in late, take him down.
Packers lost their lead running back Ryan Grant, put on injured reserve after week 1, a severe ankle injury, and a timeout called by Miami.
That's their second.
Crowder was running in with 7:12 to go in this first half. Packers leading by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new Silver Bullet aluminum pint from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Back here in Titletown, USA, Green Bay, Wisconsin. On the throw to Donald Driver. And Driver accelerating out across the 45-yard line for a gain of 8 through the air.
That's just great recognition and communication between a couple of veterans. Donald Driver and Aaron Rodgers played a lot of ball together. Rodgers saw the corner way off Driver. Easy conversion there on 2nd and short.
Driver now 133 straight games with a catch. That's the 3rd longest active streak in the NFL behind Hines Ward and Tony Gonzalez. 1st and 10 across the 45. On the delay, Jackson. Brandon Jackson finds a crease, and he's got a first down into Miami territory. 14-yard gain. Corey Hall with a good block to help spring Jackson loose.
Now watch Rodgers come out here, and he's going to fake the quick pass and then hand the ball back to Jackson on the draw. What I like about this play is right about here. That's north and south running right there. That picks up 8 more yards. A lot of running backs would have tried to go to the outside, but Jackson smartly sees his blocks and gets up the field.
Move the chains. 1st and 10 at the 40 of Miami in a 4-receiver set. Rodgers, soft toss for Jackson. Jackson breaks a tackle and driven out of bounds. So Brandon Jackson making something happen in the passing game with an 8-yard gain. It was Allen who whiffed initially.
Yeah, here's that whiff too. 32 on 32, and Jackson wins it and gets up real close to another first down for the Pack as Rodgers doing a good job of spreading the ball out now. The Dolphins are playing defense back on their heels.
2nd and 2 for Green Bay. And the Packers can pick their poison. It's working through the air. It's working on the ground. 2nd and short. Rodgers, protection holds up initially, but that second wave gets to Rodgers. It's Cameron Wake. Tremendous speed out of Penn State, former 2-time CFL defensive MVP with the BC Lions. It's a loss of 12 on the sack.
That's his 4th sack of the year. Here he is right here. And at 6'3", he will get and beat the block of the fullback Corey Hall, and then the relentless effort to get after the quarterback. Looked like Rodgers might have gotten away from Wake, but the strength in those arms brought Rodgers down for another sack.
And Wake told us he picked up a lot of tips from Jason Taylor and Joey Porter last year. Asked a lot of questions, and it's paying off. Flag comes down. Not had a lot of penalties here today, just one on each team.
Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Now they're moving in the wrong direction. They were actually in field goal range before that sack. Now the penalty compounds it for Mike McCarthy and company. It's a 3rd and 19 for Green Bay.
Josh Sitton was the guilty party there. Just another flinch by an offensive guard for the Packers.
Now, interesting subplot here. Mike McCarthy was an assistant under Mike Nolan when he was the head coach in San Francisco. Nolan, the defensive coordinator for Miami, and McCarthy admitted to us, when you coach with somebody, you get to understand their philosophies and approaches much more. Rodgers, pump fake, and the scramble by Rodgers. He had nothing working downfield. Met by Tony McDaniel. It's a 6-yard gain, and this drive comes to an abrupt halt.
Yeah, 3rd down conversions have been very difficult for the Packers the last 2 games. Just 2 of 13 against the Redskins, and so far today they're just 2 out of 10.
So 4th down for the Packers. We'll see Tim Mastay once again with Brett Good snapping it. Devon Bess is deep. This one will bounce. It takes a Miami bounce. And it caroms out of bounds. 31-yard punt. Dolphins will get the football back trailing 10-7, 3:49 to play in the first half. Saturday live at noon Eastern. The Home Depot brings you a big-time doubleheader. First, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish take on the Midshipmen of Navy. Then, Game 2, important SEC matchup. Unbeaten LSU tangles with undefeated Auburn. It's a great college football doubleheader, and it's Saturday on CBS. Dolphins with a 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. 140 yards of offense for Miami in this first half. Henny to throw. Underneath the coverage, he connects with Brian Hartline, and Hartline is down just short of the 20-yard line. Brad Jones making the stop. 6.5-yard gain on the play. So far in this first half for Miami, touchdown, strong drive to open up. Looked like they were going to get more points on that second possession. Since then, it's been 3 and out and another punt.
And on that first drive of 11 plays, 4 of those plays were big plays to Brandon Marshall, over 10 yards each.
On a 2nd and 4. Brown up the middle. And Papinga there defensively for Green Bay, who's in for the injured Clay Matthews.
And since that first quarter, we haven't seen Henny target Brandon Marshall at all. He's got 6 catches for 83 yards and has been missing in action lately.
Ronnie Brown has enough for the first down. Packers playing without Clay Matthews. What a tremendous talent he is. Had 10 sacks last year as a rookie. 8.5 sacks so far this season. Henny to throw. Rifle sideline. It's Marshall with a rainbow delivery and a first down for the Dolphins. That was put exactly where it had to be. Had enough air under it to get it to Brandon Marshall for 19.
Yeah, it was double coverage. Charles Woodson has him short on the outside here. He turns him loose right here. Nick Collins a little late coming over. But talk about concentration. You know you're going to get hit. Catch the ball anyway. That's what Marshall did.
And a little hurry up here for Miami. Ronnie Brown through the middle, and he picks up 2 yards on the play. Charles Woodson combining there with A.J. Hawk to bring him down, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. Packers 10, Dolphins 7. More to come from Green Bay. Miami only has 1 timeout to work with. 2 minutes to play in this first half. Green Bay with a 10-7 lead. Henny straight back. Forced out of the pocket. Henny throws on the run and throws it away. Cullen Jenkins had the heat on Chad Henny. Brandon Marshall, by the way, has gone over 100 yards in the first half. He's at 102 yards, second 100-yard game of the season. We asked Marshall about the matchup potentially with Charles Woodson, and he said, you know what? I played against him in my second year when I was with Denver. And Marshall, these are his words, I was a young punk, I was cocky, I didn't do the film study necessary, and I learned from it. They beat me up at the line of scrimmage that day.
He did not respect Charles Woodson. He respects him now.
Play clock winding down. Henny has to hurry. Steps and throws. Again, underneath the coverage, Devon Best. That's where he does his work. And Best has got a first down. He's into Green Bay territory, brought down at the 46-yard line. Hurry up offense here for the Dolphins. 10-yard pickup. Down to a minute 34 and counting left in this first half. 4 receiver set. Low snap handled by Henny. Henny up for grabs, and it's incomplete. Bess in a collision had the combination of Shields there along with Nick Collins, the Pro Bowler.
Well, every once in a while Henny will revert to just trying to muscle the ball into coverage. He's lucky this one wasn't picked off. Bess is lucky he wasn't murdered on the play. Ball thrown high and into double coverage. Henny's 12 completions, 7 of them have been to Marshall. Of his 125 yards passing, 102 have been to Marshall. So the Packers are now putting a linebacker out over the top of Marshall, trying to slow him down at the line of scrimmage.
Hoping to get Dan Carpenter an opportunity, and they'll use a timeout, their last timeout in this first half. Coming up, Sprint Halftime Report. Join James Brown and company for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Packers leading by 3. Miami with the football, but no timeouts remaining. Facing a 2nd and 10 at the 46-yard line. Henny Incomplete. Could not get it cleanly to Anthony Fasano, who was defended there by the linebacker A.J. Hawk. It's 3rd and 10 for the Dolphins.
Yeah, well, did you notice they brought Marshall in motion, and Charles Woodson came with him, and they double-teamed Marshall short with Woodson with a safety over the top. That's where Henny wanted to go with the ball originally, but didn't want to force it twice in a row.
Dolphins are 4 of 6 on 3rd downs here today. This is a 3rd and 10. Trying to get into field goal range for Carpenter. Henny looking to run for the first down. And Henny has got it. The scramble from Chad Henny extends the drive for the Dolphins with 1:07 and ticking left in the 2nd quarter.
This might be worth a measurement. They're giving him the first down, but he slid feet first and carried the ball far enough to get the first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 36. Running play to Ronnie Brown up the gut. And a quick hitter on the ground. 11-yard gain and another first down for Miami to the 25.
And smart by Henny to get up to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball, no review.
And a spike there for Henny so they can catch their collective breath. Now 41 seconds left.
Let's go back to Henny on the 3rd down play where heads up. He escapes the pocket and sees it's man-to-man coverage. All the defenders have their back to him. Now he goes into a slide right about there, goes all the way across the yard line, and then got right up to the line of scrimmage, the draw play, and that brings the ball all the way to the 25-yard line, well within range for Dan Carpenter.
Career long at 52. He set that last year, went to the Pro Bowl. This is the 12th play of the drive. Miami may have bigger fish to fry here. Henny, deep ball, end zone, caught, touchdown, Brandon Marshall. Dolphins take the lead.
There's some conversation, though, about whether he got both feet down in the back of the end zone. Officials are talking it over right now. This would be a booth review. Here we go. Marshall sees the ball, knows he's running out of room, makes the catch, right foot down, left foot out of bounds, no touchdown.
Nope.
This is a booth review and just outstanding camera work by our crew. Very clear that this is not a touchdown, but a great effort by Marshall. Eyes the ball, look at him, look that ball into his hands. And just that left foot, 6 inches out of bounds.
This one's coming off the board. Miami in front, but not for long. Don't forget, Sprint Halftime Report is coming up. JB and the rest of the crew. NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Booth review with under 2 minutes to go in this first half. 35 seconds remaining on the clock, and that's Ed Hockley taking another look at the replay of Brandon Marshall. It's pretty clear. Marshall did get the 1 foot in, did not get the 2nd foot in. It was called a touchdown on the field, and
but right away the officials got together and I think they had the conversation right here that that left foot clearly out of bounds, but the official who was running in made the initial signal touchdown did not see that foot.
And Hockley not wasting much time. That one was blatant.
The receiver's 2nd foot came down out of bounds. Therefore, the pass is incomplete. It's 3rd down and 10.
So 3rd and 10 coming up for Miami from the 25-yard line.
Good effort. When the ball was first released, I thought this ball was going to be thrown out of the back of the end zone, but it died just in time. Marshall hung with it as long as he could, just couldn't get that left foot down.
Packers with a 10-7 lead over Miami. Dolphins 2-0 on the road this season. Wins in Buffalo and Minnesota. 0-2 at home. Losses to the Jets and New England. Henny on 3rd down. And throws it out of bounds. Over the head of Brandon Marshall. They will send Dan Carpenter on the field to try to tie this game up.
You can see the Dolphins have no more timeouts, so that limited where Henne could throw this ball. They had to use some timeouts in the first half. This is a big problem when you've got confusion on both sides, both on offense and your defense.
So they didn't have the luxury of a timeout to work with, and it did affect their play calling. And at one point, Henne had to spike the football as well. 43-yard attempt. Carpenter. Straight through. We are tied at 10.
Holding offense number 76. 10-yard penalty.
Oh, man.
Repeat fourth down.
More problems for the special teams.
That is Leiden Murtha, second-year offensive lineman out of Nebraska. They had points on the board taken off because Marshall was out of bounds on the touchdown. They had points on the board now taken off because of a hold on 76 Murtha.
You can see the Packers really loading up that side too. That's where Patrick Chung came through to try to block the New England in the New England game. But that was Murtha on the outside pulling down Trem Williams.
Well, now this is Carpenter trying for a career long, 53 yards away. Carpenter. And he drills it. Dan Carpenter comes through late stages second quarter. We are knotted up at 10 apiece.
And nobody clapping with more enthusiasm than Darren Rizzi, new special teams coach. You know, on the previous kick, which was 10 yards shorter, a 43-yarder, it barely made it. That one went through with ease from 53.
Now, it was interesting to see Murtha coming off the field. Not only his special teams coach, Rizzi, there, but Chad Pennington, the backup quarterback, there as well, trying to explain to Murtha what the problem was.
Here's the hold by Brandon Fields. He tilts the ball back into the right for the kicker. That's the way these soccer-style kickers love it. And there's the result, a beautiful drive right down the middle.
And a career best for Dan Carpenter, third-year kicker out of Montana. I think Tony Sperano is pumped up. It's been a long stretch for the Miami Dolphins, left to think about what happened against the New England Patriots. National television game on Monday night. You know the rest of the league is watching. And the Dolphins have acquitted themselves quite nicely here in the first half against Green Bay. Tied at 10. Had chances. The interception by Henne, picked off by Williams when the Dolphins looked like they were driving for more points. Carpenter now kicking off. Pat Lee is the deep man for Green Bay. And they'll take it from the 5-yard line. We've got 18 seconds left, first half. Lee slowed down and using up more clock as it ticks down to 12 seconds remaining. Alama Francis, first man down the field to make the play. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp come your way on cable's longest-running show, the multi-award winning Inside the NFL. That's every Wednesday on Showtime. 7 catches, 102 yards in the first half for Brandon Marshall. Packers have all 3 timeouts remaining, but only 12 seconds left, and deep in their own territory at the 15. They'll take a knee, and that will do it for this first half. Miami and Green Bay here at Lambeau, tied at 10-10 at halftime. Marshall, big numbers. Rodgers with 169 yards and a touchdown for Green Bay. And we'll come back with the Sprint halftime report. It's coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Here in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, concussion last week, but he has looked ready to go here today against the Miami Dolphins. The plan for Miami, get Brandon Marshall involved, and they've executed that plan. We are at the break at Lambeau, and the Dolphins and Packers are all tied up at 10 apiece, getting you ready for second half action here in Green Bay. And right now, let's take a look at the points of protection presented by Allstate.
Well, Aaron Rodgers coming off the concussion. Got to do a better job of protecting him. He's been knocked down a couple of times. Henne has got great protection so far in that first half. But Miami, still, the special teams are real scary. One punt deflected, a holding penalty on a field goal. Good for Miami that Carpenter bounced back and nailed that 53-yarder.
Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts rejoining you here in the broadcast booth here in Green Bay, and all tied up. Expecting a tight game in this one with Miami on the road. They played well on the road so far this season, 2-0. Green Bay, a lot of injuries, and I think defensively you've seen the fact that Clay Matthews has not been a part of this defense for Green Bay. Miami's been able to take advantage in some spots.
Well, and Henne's done a good job with the protection.
Yep.
The Packers' second best team at getting after the quarterback coming into today. They lose 8.5 sacks with Clay Matthews not out there, and so the game plan for Miami, they've been able to run the ball between the tackles, but really the key has been that pass protection.
And Green Bay, a couple of big plays downfield from Aaron Rodgers. We take a look at these first half numbers, and the fact of the matter is the Packers, they're going to put some numbers up through the passing game. They were able to do that, although Rodgers has not had the high completion percentage per se. He's 7 of 13, but 169 yards, including that bomb to Jennings.
Let's get back to the first touchdown of the game. This is Devon Bess with a 2-yarder on third down. Big conversion there and the touchdown. Here's that bomb you talked about, Ian. It's a beautiful line drive throw from Aaron Rodgers to Greg Jennings. But when you look at the quarterback comparison, Henne, because of that good pass protection, has thrown it 23 times. That's a little bit more than I'm sure the Dolphins want to throw the ball. But remember, they were behind, and at that 2-minute offense that they ran, Henne was forced to throw, and he made a key play with his legs when he picked up that first down.
Rushing yards in that first half for Miami, 68. This is a team that finished in the top 5 in rushing last season, 4th in the NFL. They're averaging 107 yards on the ground per game this season. Crosby kicks it off. Nolan Carroll, the return man. And Carroll hit by Corey Hall low, and Carroll toppled over and brought down shy of the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that's that old tea kettle tackle. Man, Corey Hall goes low here, and he gets help. But hanging on to that ball is Carroll. That's a huge play, just hanging on to it.
Current temperature now at 58 degrees. Just a pleasant day in Green Bay. Dolphins have it 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. First possession of the second half. It's Ricky Williams and Lou Polite. And Williams up the middle, pushing the pile. Ricky Williams crosses the 25-yard line for an 8-yard pickup on first down. 2nd and 2 coming up. Cullen Jenkins in on that stop for Green Bay. First half possessions for the Miami Dolphins started out strong. That 11-play, 74-yard drive resulting in a touchdown. Second drive was the interception. Henne picked off by Tramon Williams. Couple of punts and then the field goal late. On second down, Hartline, the motion man. Keep it on the ground. Williams has got the first down to the 30-yard line. 4-yard pickup for the 10-year veteran, Ricky Williams. Went 6 years between his 1,000-yard seasons. Now, you think back to that 2002 season. I'm not sure there was a better running back in football that year. Went to the Pro Bowl, 1,853 yards, 16 touchdowns, and still looking like a very effective running back, just not getting as many carries as he used to for Miami. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. Fasano sets. It's Williams. Little juke move up the middle. P.J. Raji there defensively for Green Bay. Give him a gain of 3.5 on the play.
You can almost imagine what the conversation offensively in the Dolphin locker room was at halftime. Let's get back to, tied up at 10-10 here. Brand new ball game. This is the way they started the game, running the ball well between the tackles. Look now for Henne to fire up a couple of play action passes, trying to get Marshall down the field.
You see the breakdown for running backs, Brown and Williams. They have 2 weapons there. 2nd and 6 now, averaging 4.4 yards per rush. Henne in the pocket. Timing pattern. Up top, Hartline hauls it in Green Bay territory. Brian Hartline. There was some pushing there from Charles Woodson. Maybe it was Hartline doing the pushing. 19-yard pickup.
Everybody on that Packer sideline were saying, hey, Hartline pushed off on Woodson. And he really didn't. Woodson just went on by. He kind of slipped and fell down there. Heads up by Hartline. Laid a hand on him, but really didn't push him out of the way. It was Woodson going down by himself.
Henne now 154 yards through the air. On the ground. And Ricky Williams limited to a gain of 2 to the 45. Frank Zombo and Desmond Bishop collaborating on that stop.
That really shows you the difference, though, with Ricky Williams now in his 10th year. A couple of years ago, he probably would have tried to get all the way around the corner. But at that time, he realized he couldn't get there, lowered his head and picked up what he could.
1998 Heisman Trophy winner. Ricky Williams, the number 5 pick of New Orleans back in 1999. 2nd and 8. Henne pats the ball and throws. High throw, and it's handled. Brandon Marshall, great concentration. And it's right at that first down line with Sam Shields there defensively. 8-yard gain.
Sam Shields is 5'11". Again, we talk about the target here for Chad Henne. Shallow cross route by Marshall. And a confident quarterback throwing to those big hands. Another first down for Miami.
Yeah, you asked Marshall about Henne, and he said he works hard. He's the last guy to leave the complex every night. He studies a lot, and he's got a live arm. Lou Polite, the fullback, getting some chances here. Now in his 6th year out of Pittsburgh, formerly with Dallas and Chicago. A.J. Hawk and Desmond Bishop combined defensively for Green Bay. It's a 3-yard gain.
But again, it's back to the ground game on first down for Dan Henning, who's calling the plays for the Dolphins. Henning looking at his play sheet on his wrist. And right now, this is a good drive because it's taken the crowd totally out of the game.
Do you like this shift in philosophy to open up this 3rd quarter?
Well, a tie score, this is what you do best. Keep the ball on the ground with Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown. Here's Williams again.
And Ricky Williams keeps the legs churning as he hits it across the 30-yard line for a 5-yard gain. Joe Berger with a good block up front. And Miami moving the football, and they're doing it with their running game.
And, you know, in this day and age, we see so much wide-open passing game and formations and receivers. This is just old-fashioned football. I formation, blast play, power play, and picking up yardage. Here's a 3rd down, tough one, though, converting for Miami.
9th play of the drive on a 3rd and 2. Henne trying to throw for the first down or more up top and incomplete. Roberto Wallace with a flag down, thrown at the 27-yard line. He was matched up with Tramon Williams.
Holding defense number 21.
Wow.
It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Oh, it's Charles Woodson.
He's good for 2 or 3 penalties a game, it seems like. Plays right on the edge, always very physical, trying to bait the quarterback into problems. That time he got caught, and that was not even the primary receiver. He was holding before Henne tried to get the ball down the field to Brandon Marshall.
Woodson and Henne, both proud Michigan men. Woodson won a national title with Michigan and the Heisman Trophy in 1997. Henne was a 4-year starter for the Wolverines. Brian Hartline the end around, and the Packers were ready for it. Brad Jones read it perfectly. It's a loss of 2.5 on the play.
Now that type of call I don't quite understand. You're having great success just going right at the Packers. They're not over pursuing. Usually a reverse will work against a team that's got good defensive speed and will pursue real hard. Right now the Packers have just been trying to protect their middle. Did a good job of snuffing out that long developing reverse play.
Call it a 2nd and 13 now. 10th play of the drive. Back to the bread and butter. Ricky Williams. And a flag thrown.
B.J. Raji saying, I was held on the play.
Number 79. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And it's Pat McQuiston in at that right guard spot, replacing John Jerry. McQuiston's twin brother, Paul, plays with Jacksonville.
Now here's McQuiston, and here's B.J. Raji. And that's exactly where the Dolphins want to run that ball, as Raji tried to come off the block of McQuiston. And McQuiston just wouldn't let go. Easy call for Ed Hockley. He made the call from his referee position.
So back it up now, a 2nd and 23 for Miami. This drive was moving along for the Dolphins. See how much that penalty affects the possession. Henning. Bubble screen. Devon Bess. And brought down as he crossed the 30-yard line by linebacker A.J. Hawk. It's a 10-yard gain through the air.
You can just see the acceleration, though, of Bess. That's his 4th catch now for 29 yards, but he wasted very little time after making the catch on the bubble screen to get up the field, make positive yards.
130 catches for Bess in his first 2 NFL seasons. It's a former high school quarterback. And now a 3rd and 13. Opening drive, second half. It's been a long one here for Miami. Ronnie Brown in the backfield. It's a pitch to Brown. Working the sideline, and Brown is angled out of bounds, being chased by Charlie Pepra, the safety.
Well, that type of play selection makes you think that the Dolphins are satisfied just getting 3 points. And it brings out the special teams, which everybody now in Miami is holding their breath. What's going to happen on this one?
Well, Miami came in last in the NFL in kickoff coverage. Also the worst average starting field position in the league. This area has been okay for Dan Carpenter, who's been consistent. 41-yard attempt. Miami trying to take the lead. Flag thrown as Carpenter knocks it through. And Darren Rizzi, the special teams coach, looks over to the head coach, Tony Sperano. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the Packers are in the neutral zone.
Yeah, Miami recognizes that it was on Green Bay. So the Dolphins walking off the field. They're going to take the field goal, keep the 3 points on the board.
Offside, defense number 24, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. The field goal attempt is good.
Miami takes the points. They've got a 13-10 lead in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by TD Ameritrade.
That's terrific. For some reason, I predict that there will be some form of cheese at the reception.
Lots and lots of cheese.
Congratulations to the lucky couple here at Lambeau. Coming up tonight on CBS, the CEO of Frontier Airlines is going undercover, taking on tough jobs and earning his wings the hard way. It's an all-new Undercover Boss. That's tonight, only CBS. Miami up on Green Bay, 13-10. This is the Packers' first possession of the second half. It comes at the 7:37 mark after another long drive by Chad Henne and the Miami Dolphins. Packers take over at their own 23-yard line. Jackson in the backfield. Rodgers working out of the gun. Handoff to Jackson. And Jackson falls forward for a 4-yard pickup. Kendall Langford there defensively for Miami.
Time of possession, 11 more minutes for Miami than Green Bay. And you've been in the locker room. It's been, about a half an hour since the Packers were actually out on the field on offense.
Packers haven't produced a second half offensive touchdown in back-to-back games. Last week they scored their fewest points since December of 2007. They lost last week in Washington 16-13 in overtime. They've only put up 10 here today. Rodgers on the out route. Jordy Nelson has got it. And it's first down for Green Bay.
But again, Rodgers has to pick himself up off the ground. Check out the hit on Rodgers. He's complaining that he got hit in the back here. Cameron Wake is number 91. And there's a shot right in the chest by Starks. And believe me, this one is going to hurt Aaron Rodgers. He leading with the helmet now. Thought you couldn't do that.
Oh, that's why Rodgers got up. Was incredulous that there was no flag thrown on the play. And we know what happened last week against Washington. He suffered a concussion on the interception in overtime. Fake the handoff, and Rodgers floats it to the sideline. Cameron Wake just stuck it out with Aaron Rodgers, who might be complaining still about the previous no call.
Well, he can complain about a lot of non-calls when it comes to him. Not on this play, but on the previous play, he is still mad about getting hit, as he did by Starks.
Now Rodgers making his case with Ed Hockley, and that could be just planting the seed for later on as well. 13-10, Miami leading Green Bay. We've got 6:25 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Packers. Rodgers, short setup, and could not be handled by Kuhn. Incomplete. And the Packers offense not looking very crisp.
Yeah, Rodgers saying, hey, I got hit right in the chin. This is what happened to him last week on the interception. He gets hit initially and then driven to the ground and hit again in the head, and yet no flag is called. No flag is thrown, no penalty called. All you do is remember back to the Arizona game in the playoffs last year.
There was a fine that was announced earlier this week on Jarman for that hit, but no flag on the play as mentioned against Washington. Kuhn is in there on a 3rd and 10. 4-receiver set. Rodgers throwing, stepping in front, and intercepted. Jason Allen. That's number 3 on the season for Allen.
And that's the cumulative effect of getting hit repeatedly as Rodgers is getting hit, throwing the ball too early, and a good play by Allen.
More bad news for Green Bay. Injury. Brady Papinga out for the game. Knee injury. He was backing up Clay Matthews. First down for Miami. And Lou Polite with the catch across the 40-yard line, hit by Desmond Bishop. Robert Francois, who is now playing for the Packers, number 49, first year out of Boston College. He's backing up Papinga, who was backing up Clay Matthews. And he got a hit on the quarterback, Chad Henne.
Yeah, he forced that throw to be thrown early by Henne. Henne just had to get rid of that ball because Francois was right in his face.
So Francois called up off the practice squad. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. They lead it 13-10. Take the handoff. Henne, look at the time. Henne throws, and it's caught by Marshall. Brandon Marshall in Green Bay territory, and a first down for Miami. That covers 13 yards.
That's 9 catches now for Brandon Marshall. He did a great job on this route. Good pass protection again. I mean, there's nobody near Henne. And he can just eyeball his receiver all the way down the field and throw the ball away from the defender.
Coming up on 5 minutes to play in this third quarter. Marshall has been their passing offense, hooking up with Henne throughout the day, and flags come down.
Another false start as the Packers were faking the blitz.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. That's first down.
And that's Richie Incognito, the starting left guard for the Dolphins. Fiery 60-year player. So the injuries piling up on defense. No Matthews today. Papinga now out because of a knee. Pickett did not start because of an ankle. And Brandon Chiller, one of their top reserve nickel linebackers, out with a shoulder injury.
And all that means no pass rush for the Packers. There's your pass rush on the sidelines.
And not a lot of resistance up the middle on these running plays as well. Ronnie Brown. So Miami now mixing with the pass and the run. That's an 11-yard gain. Anthony Fasano with a block to help create some extra space for Brown to work with.
And again, as you said, Ian, it's the running game, and it's right up the middle. You can see Francois getting taken out of the play. Brown, with good vision, cuts it all the way back to the right side and picks up a nice gain.
Now, you saw what he did week 4 against New England, Miami's last game. Brown now 52 yards on the ground today. Pitch for Brown, waiting for blockers. Brown picks his way along the sideline, and it looks like he should have enough for a first down. He does. Time for an update. Let's head to New York. Check in with JB.
Ian and Dan. Baltimore looking for a little breathing room against New England. Take a look off of the Tom Brady pick. Joe Flacco up top Dan Fouts to Anquan Bolden. 4th touchdown reception of the season for Bolden. 17-7 Baltimore over New England, that in the 3rd. Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts.
Great addition, JB. Anquan Bolden, missing piece to a offense now that may be the best in the NFL.
They are dangerous. We saw them firsthand last week. Give to Ronnie Brown. Hitting the edge, Brown picks up 2 yards with Williams combining along with Bishop to bring him down. And coming up tonight on CBS, the Amazing Race goes extreme as teams square off in the Arctic Circle, and one intense competition sends someone over the edge. It's a new Amazing Race after 60 minutes tonight, only CBS. Now, time of possession in this 3rd quarter, no comparison. Miami give the offense credit and give the defense a lot of credit as well. They've basically given up one big play on the day. Ricky Williams steamrolled.
Sixth play of the game for the Dolphins to just 30 for the Packers. And there is your steamroll right there, running over linebackers and just coming up about a half a yard short of the first down.
Now, Dan, you said 56 plays, 28 on the ground, 28 through the air. That's balance.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for the confirmation.
Even, too. You know, half and half.
105 yards today combined. Brown and Williams, they need about a half a yard to keep this drive going. Double tight end set. It's Polite, and he is snuffed out.
I think it was A.J. Hawk at the bottom of that pile that got great penetration, went low on Polite. Looks like the Dolphins are going to go for it on 4th down. Here's number 50 right here. That's Hawk. Watch him dive in here. And he's going to stop Polite short. Big help inside also from B.J. Raji.
Fourth down. Miami going for it. Looking to move the chains. Brown in the backfield. Ronnie Brown, second effort, and he's got it. First down, Dolphins. This drive continues. A.J. Hawk tried to get him down low. Down to 1:26 left in this 3rd quarter.
This is why you like the I formation in short yardage. The fullback leads, but it also gives the tailback that extra half a second or so to see where the hole might be. He was following Polite for a moment, then he saw it break open on the right side, and he, with that great second effort, he'll bring out the chains, see if he got the first down, but I don't think there's any question he got the first down.
And Dan, how thin are the Packers defensively? They're using an offensive lineman. Oh boy.
He is short.
He didn't get it.
Amazing. They ought to challenge that spot. It appeared that he was across the 25-yard line.
The Packers have T.J. Lang, an offensive lineman, helping on defense, and they made the stop.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sony and by Toyota.
Back in Green Bay, Miami has challenged the spot on that 4th down play at Hockley.
The ruling on the field stands as called. It was short of a first down. Green Bay's ball. First down.
Let's take another look at this. Ronnie Brown with A.J. Hawk making the play defensively. Sperano has questioned the spot. He had to get to the 26.
And you can see where the down marker is. The top of the screen there. His arm goes down right there.
That's not an elbow.
That's not an elbow. That should be a legal play there as he stretches out. The knee now goes down, and he's well beyond the 26-yard line. Interesting call by Ed Hockley. He obviously thinks that he was down when that arm went down, but the elbow never touched.
He ended up across the 25, but they ruled him down just short of the 26. On first down, Brandon Jackson. He's just fighting to make some positive yardage. Benny Sapp got penetration. It's a loss of 1 on the play.
And in a 10-13 game with the Dolphins just on top by 3, go back to the first half when the Dolphins lost some timeouts due to confusion. How big is that timeout that they just lost there because of the challenge, losing that challenge?
Now, Ronnie Brown certainly thought he had it. The Dolphins sideline felt he had enough for the first down, and that's why Sperano challenged it.
That's a good challenge. I thought he had it too.
As did I. 2nd and 11. Packers trailing by 3. Rodgers. Sideline throw to Donald Driver. Tiptoeing out on the perimeter. And Sean Smith bit on the fake as Driver tacked on extra yardage.
Boy, at 35 years old, Donald Driver still has the moves, the quickness. What a move there on Sean Smith. He stepped out of bounds about 5 yards back. But a big play on first down for the Packers after getting the ball back.
All through the years, Donald Driver now in his 12th year. All he knows is Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers at this level. 2 guys. Play fake. Rodgers. Incomplete. Jordy Nelson, the intended target. Vontae Davis had the coverage along the outside.
Well, both Vontae Davis and Jason Allen have been real physical today, and that's their style. A lot of contact down the field. The Packers bench was complaining that Vontae Davis had his hands on Jordy Nelson, but that was a long, slow developing deep route, and Rodgers had to throw the ball early.
They are checking out Donald Driver along that Packers sideline. That was after the move he made on the reception. Empty backfield on a 2nd and 10. Rodgers steps up, and Rodgers is cut down short of the 40-yard line. Koa Misi. Sack. It'll go down as a loss of 2.
Well, Driver missed practice on Thursday with a thigh injury, and now the injury bug starting to really have an effect on the offense as much as the defense of the Green Bay Packers.
End of the 3rd quarter. Miami in front of Green Bay, 13-10. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Start of the 4th quarter now in Green Bay with Miami in front of the Packers 13-10. 3rd and 11 for the Packers. Rodgers steps up. He guns and he's got a first down. Jordy Nelson spun down in Miami territory by Jason Allen. That one covers 14 yards on the outside. Take a look at the numbers through 3 quarters of play, Dan.
Well, if you're a Packer fan, you don't want to take a look at the numbers because they're horrible. Domination by the Dolphins offensively, taking time off the clock and moving the ball, but the Dolphin defense has been shutting down the Packers.
Only 3 rushing yards in that 3rd quarter. They only had the 1 possession. Now the 2nd possession, late stages of the 3rd, bridging the 4th. Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. Give is to Jackson, and Jackson is brought down. Nice job there by Channing Crowder, Carlos Dansby there defensively, and a 2-yard gain.
Good to see Donald Driver back in the huddle for the Packers. You can see the injury problems that the Packers faced today. Aaron Rodgers passed all those concussion tests, but his big target, Michael Finley, sitting up in the press box with a bad knee.
And Driver is back on the Green Bay sideline. 3 in the backfield. 2nd and 8 now for the Packers. Fake the handoff to Kuhn. Rodgers throws. Open man. Greg Jennings. And he scoots forward for a first down across the 35-yard line. That's 11 yards as Jeremiah Bell makes the stop.
The Dolphins have so much respect for the speed of Greg Jennings. Vontae Davis, number 21, in coverage here. He's worried about that long pass. Slips and falls down, and that leaves a wide open Jennings and a first down for the Packers as they move now to inside the 35.
Green Bay Packers, they are minus 25 in scoring differential in the 4th quarter this season. Jackson's got an opening. And Brandon Jackson puts Green Bay in position now to possibly regain the lead. Scott Wells with a good block. And Driver helping out as well.
Really a well-designed screen pass as Rodgers comes back. He's going to fake the pass out to the left. and that allows Jackson to get out in front here. Key block there by Scott Wells. Darren College as well out in front, and then Jackson punishes defenders as he takes the ball to the 15. It's a good drive for the Packers.
1st and 10 for Green Bay at the Miami 15-yard line. Dolphins with a 3-point lead just underway in the 4th quarter. Jackson in the backfield. Shotgun formation on the quick throw for Jennings. And Miami in pursuit gets there quickly with Vontae Davis leading the charge. It's a 2-yard pickup through the air.
That's a real good tackle by Vontae Davis. It's got to be a scary proposition. A receiver with the ball in his hands. Watch the reaction by Davis as he sprints up and makes a short tackle as Jennings trying to get away and stretch out for extra yards.
Now Green Bay got the football after Ronnie Brown was ruled short of the first down for Miami. Now they've turned it into a long drive. 10th play for the Packers. 2nd and 8. Fake the handoff. Rodgers throwing underneath to Jennings, and he's twirled down at the 8-yard line by Davis.
And Jennings very disappointed that he couldn't spin away from the tackle of Davis. 2 great tackles in a row now by Davis, because if he doesn't stop Jennings here, Jennings walks into the end zone. That shows you just how strong Vontae Davis is.
3rd and 3. Davis, second-year corner, physical, 4 interceptions last season. Younger brother of Vernon Davis, the tight end for San Francisco. Big play here. 3rd and 3 for the Packers. 2 of 7 on 3rd downs. They trail by 3. Rodgers out of the pocket. Rodgers throwing incomplete. Nelson the intended target, and it's 4th down for the Packers.
Disappointed Jordy Nelson and the quarterback Aaron Rodgers. This would have been a 1st down. Not a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Just threw the ball about 6 inches too far to the outside as Nelson just can't quite haul it in.
So Mason Crosby will come on for a 26-yard field goal. Packers had all the momentum going on that drive. They were moving the football. And Crosby connects to tie this game at 13. We still have 10:45 to play. 4th quarter at Lambeau, all tied up. "15 players on the injury report for the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers was part of that group. Rodgers sharp on that last drive. 14 of 25 overall, 248 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Suffered a concussion last week, leading Green Bay to a field goal and a tie game. 13 all, 10:45 to play as Crosby kicks off to Nolan Carroll for Miami. Carroll from the 4. Hole up the middle. And Carroll tripped up as he hit the 40-yard line by Crosby. Carroll was gaining speed. When we come back, it will be the quarterback, Chad Henne, back in the spotlight for Miami. We're all tied up.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
13 apiece, 10:39 to play. 4th quarter here in Green Bay. Miami with the football at the 40-yard line. Handoff to Ricky Williams. And he gains 4 yards on 1st down. B.J. Raji there defensively. Let's go back to the kickoff return. And Carroll, who almost broke one.
Well, Mason Crosby weighs 207 pounds, so he's not a little tiny kicker, and it's a good thing because this is a tough tackle for number 2 right here. Questionable whether Carroll would have had enough speed to go the distance, but he certainly gave the Dolphins great field position.
At a 2nd and 6 now for Miami. We will hit the 10-minute mark of this 4th quarter. Henne, out route, incomplete. Could not get it to Devon Bess. Miami coming into this game outscored 69-32 in the second halves of games this season.
Packers got a little bit better pressure on Henne that time. Still hasn't been sacked this afternoon, but the pressure there caused that ball to be a little bit wide of the receiver.
Dolphins playing for the first time in Green Bay since November of 2002. That was a Packers victory, 24-10. Only the 6th time that they've ever played at Lambeau. 3rd and 6. Henny, knocked down. It's fourth down. B.J. Raji there.
Well, B.J. Raji's made a couple of big plays this afternoon. This may have been the biggest one. Not getting anywhere near Henny, but number 90 right here, watch as he's battling in the middle there with McQuiston. There goes that left hand up in the air. Big play by B.J. Raji.
The number 9 pick in the 2009 draft. Brandon Fields the punt. Tramon Williams lets it bounce. He'll take it out of the air and out of bounds. Chased out off the angle. Green Bay with the football, tied at 13 in the fourth.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cadillac, the new standard of the world. Rogue Skyline. On November 12th, our first encounter will be our last stand. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Green Bay Packers, Miami Dolphins tied at 13. Packers are 4-5 against teams from the AFC since 2008. On a pitch for Jackson to open up this possession. Jackson with a nice cut to the outside and forced out of bounds. Jeremiah Bell helping give chase for Miami. 6.5-yard gain there for Jackson.
It's been a good day for Rodgers yardage-wise. This is the first play of the game to Crabtree, went for 33 yards. Then gets the other tight end involved. That's Corliss. But since then, Corliss and Crabtree only have 2 receptions. How much did they miss the other tight end, Jermichael Finley?
Jennings has gone over 100 yards today. First time a Green Bay wide receiver has hit the 100-yard plateau this season. 5 for 113 and a touchdown. John Kuhn gets the call. And Randy Starks, first man there for Miami, picks up a yard on the play. Tonight on 60 Minutes, it's a wonder of the world in the holiest of cities, a dig that is uncovering thousands of years of history. So why is it causing so much tension? Tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS. 3rd and 2. Line of scrimmage is the 30-yard line of Green Bay. Henny with 185 yards passing today, a touchdown and an interception, 18 of 30. Aaron Rodgers on 3rd down. Nelson went in motion, now parallel with Rodgers out of the gun. Here comes the rush. Rodgers in trouble, and he is sacked. Cameron Wake, 4th sack of the day for this Miami defense.
We're talking about all the injuries to the Packers. Mark Tauscher is out. We got a flag down on this play, so we'll see what happens. And in the secondary, this could be illegal contact or holding against the Dolphins that could nullify that sack by Cameron Wake.
Tony Sperano wants an explanation.
There was no foul on the play. The quarterback was sacked before the action occurred. 4th down.
But that's the rookie Brian Beluga working against Cameron Wake, and right now Wake is having his time. Look at him in that 4-point stance, coming in, crashing against Beluga and bringing down the quarterback. You know, that's an unusual 4-point stance by Cameron Wake. He learned that in Canada because the neutral zone in Canada is a yard wide instead of just the length of the football. He had to close that distance in a hurry, as he did that time.
What'd you call it, the track stance?
Yeah, it's a 4-point stance, and he is a sprinter.
Punt from Tim Mastay. Devon Best, the return man, out near midfield. Miami will have excellent position as Pat Lee made the stop. All tied up. Back at Lambeau Field, Green Bay has been the home of the Packers since 1919. Right now, all locked up at 13 apiece with 8:08 to go in the 4th quarter. Miami takes over. Best opening field position of the day for either team. Henny throws and throws it away out of bounds in the direction of Brandon Marshall, matched up with the Pro Bowler Charles Woodson. Today, the world's top 10 bull riders take on the fiercest bulls in the first ever open air event in Times Square. It's the PBR-built Ford Tough Road to the World Finals. It's coming up after football here on CBS.
Ride him, cowboy.
Was that for me or?
No, that
was for the bull rider. Sorry.
Yeah.
2nd and 10. Handoff. Ronnie Brown able to take it to the outside. Frank Zombo there to make the play defensively. It's a 7-yard gain into Green Bay territory, and a 3rd and 3 coming up for Miami.
This would be a huge 3rd down attempt to pick up the 1st down. You want to be able to get Carpenter into range. He hit a 53-yarder at the end of the 1st half. Aaron Rodgers looking on. And right now the Dolphins are in control, especially if they can convert here.
Brown in the backfield. This is a short 3 yards in a 4-receiver set. They want to throw for it. Henning. Broken up. Trying to squeeze it to Devon Bess, who drew a linebacker on the play, Desmond Bishop.
Henning a little bit late getting rid of this ball. Bess was in the clear ahead of Bishop, but great reaction by the middle linebacker. Former Cal Bear laying out there and denying that completion. Huge play for the Pack.
7:18 left to play in the 4th, and Miami will punt. Brandon Fields. Not much of a rush to speak of. Teron Williams, fair catch. And he calls for it inside the 10. Packers are pinned deep in their own territory after the 35-yard field goal.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Try the newest $5 footlong Subway Club today. And by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
On the punt was an illegal formation by Green Bay. There was a player on the line of scrimmage lined up over the center. That's a 5-yard penalty, results in a 1st down for Miami.
Wow.
That's a double wow for these Packer fans. They thought they had the ball with 7:10 to go and a chance to go down the field. Mike McCarthy got the explanation during the timeout, but this is a new rule in the NFL. It's one of those safety issue rules. Cannot line up anybody over the center. And they're considering this player right here. That appears to be Robert Francois, lined up over the center. Yeah, number 49. That's illegal, and a good catch by the officials. Even though he was not lined up right in the neutral zone right over the center, you still cannot be in that position.
So the punt had initially put Green Bay at the 9-yard line. Instead, the penalty works against the Packers, and Miami gets the 1st down.
You know, it's almost like the football gods, the karma, if you will, go back to when Miami did not pick up the 1st down when it appeared that Ronnie Brown got it. That was a 4th down play. And now, after reviewing the play or talking about it as officials, these fans going nuts because this is the proper call. Cannot line up a man over the center on a punt or on a place kick.
So what a sequence here. The Dolphins are almost in field goal range now after the penalty.
Again, here is Robert Francois. He was just activated a couple of days ago from the practice squad. And even though he's not directly on the nose of the center, he is lined up in no man's land.
So Miami actually benefits on special teams after all the problems they've had leading into their 5th game of the season here today. 13-all. Miami maintains possession with a 1st and 10 at the Green Bay 39. Henny. The throw for Marshall, trying to get him to create after the catch. And not much there. About a 3-yard gain for big Brandon Marshall, met by Teron Williams. 7:06 to play, 4th quarter, and the fans still reacting to that call on the field on the punt. Henny with 188 yards passing. Marshall 10 catches for 126. 2nd and 7 for the Dolphins. Handoff, Ronnie Brown. And Brown goes up the middle. Brought down to the 32-yard line by A.J. Hawk. Another 3 yards for the Dolphins.
Really a good power run by Ronnie Brown as A.J. Hawk met him right in the hole at the line of scrimmage. But Brown just powered his way for just a couple. Bring up a big third down, obviously.
Dan Carpenter may get an opportunity. Miami would love to get this first down, use more clock, and threaten with a touchdown. 3rd and 3. Henne to throw it. Wide open, Brian Hartline. First down, Dolphins inside the 25, and that quiets the crowd.
But again, if you have no pass rush at all, Henne can just take his time and find Hartline working in the secondary against the zone of the Packers. I mean, Henne is just, I don't think he's been on the ground at all today, except when the one time he had to run with the ball. Watch the pocket. It's a 5-step drop, looking left all the way, and not a Packer within 3 yards of him.
Down to 5.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins from the 22. On the roll. Pass against the grain to Fasano, and Fasano's got room. Miami goes in for the touchdown. Anthony Fasano, 22 yards. Good block by Jake Long, and the Dolphins take the lead on the road in Lambeau.
And Dan Henning drew up a perfect play. It's a sprint out and really a naked throwback, one-man screen to the tight end, Anthony Fasano. Watch the sprint this way, and Fasano is going to be all by himself after blocking on Nick Collins. Henne just barely gets the ball out, Long in the way of the defender. Touchdown, Miami.
7 plays, 51 yards. The drive kept alive on a penalty with Robert Francois lining up against the center on a punt formation. And the Miami Dolphins with a 20-13 advantage with just over 5 minutes to play.
Really a well-designed play. Watch Devon Best come down here. Right here is Fasano. He's going to block on Nick Collins, who's blitzing. And Best will take to the inside Sam Shields. Look at here, and now look at out here. Henne with a great job of getting the ball out under pressure. Fasano will never be more wide open in his life. What a huge play for the Dolphins. Just perfectly executed. Everybody going to the right side of the field. Just Fasano and Long on the left side, and that's all it took as Fasano fakes the Lambeau leap.
Dan Henning, creative play call. And Green Bay did not know what hit them.
And really on that play, Ian, what you want is you want them to blitz.
Yep.
You want them to be in man-to-man. Perfect call by Henning.
Pat Lee, the deep man, returning from the 3-yard line for Green Bay. Long strides, and he ran into a brick wall at the 30-yard line. Tim Dobbins, special teams ace, formerly with the San Diego Chargers, acquired in a trade. Coming up, Subway postgame show, James Brown and company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Line of scrimmage will be the 31. Henne on the day, 21 of 35, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Packers, 4 of their 5 games decided by 7 points or less so far in the young season. They're 3-2 overall. On first down for Green Bay. Rodgers, shotgun formation. Wake giving chase. Rodgers gets rid of it, and nobody home. The pressure continues to come from this Miami defense, and Cameron Wake has been right in the middle of it.
Yeah, again, it's working against a rookie, Brian Bulaga. And Bulaga's just no match right now. He needs help on Wake. Wake is a dynamic pass rusher. He's got such great leg strength. He can get low underneath the long arms of these offensive tackles and put pressure on the quarterback.
2nd and 10. 5 receivers set here for Green Bay. Play clock winding down. Rodgers, blitz coming. Rodgers throws it up for grabs. Bobbled. Looks like he tracked it. Sean Smith.
Well, one official says incomplete. The other says he got it. And they're both going to agree now that it is incomplete.
And Rodgers took another shot, a little bit slow to get up.
Now,
he was on an island back there, Rodgers, as this rush was coming.
That's Sean Smith bobbling the ball, and the ball that looked like the point of the ball hit the ground before he grabbed full possession of it.
Yep.
Right there. Good call, good communication by the officials. But here's Cameron Wake again drilling the quarterback. Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, knows a good thing when he sees it. Wake getting after Rodgers.
Packers are 2 of 9 on
Timeout,
third
Miami.
downs.
That's their second. It's a 30-second timeout.
And Miami using a timeout, just one remaining for the Dolphins with just over 5 minutes to play. And the Dolphins in front 20-13. Packers facing a 3rd and 10 after the timeout. Wednesday on CBS, with a senator as their client, the stakes have never been higher. Jim Belushi and Jerry O'Connell are the defenders. Wednesday only, CBS.
Don't you just love irony? You know, the irony of the special teams problems of the Dolphins. This game may turn on the miscue by the Packers on that punt, but it's been the pressure on Aaron Rodgers today. He's been sacked 4 times, been knocked down numerous times, and has just been thrown off rhythm by this pass rush, especially from number 91, Cameron Wake.
3rd and 10. Nelson shifts to the backfield. Rodgers with a moving pocket. Rodgers. Pressure still coming. Rodgers flips it out. And open man is Nelson. Turns it into a big gainer. Aaron Rodgers kept that play alive. Koamisi with the pressure. And Rodgers sidesteps and completes for 24.
And there was a time during that play where Nelson was blocking. There he is right here. He sees his quarterback in trouble, and Rodgers sees him wide open over the middle. Heads up by Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers.
To the Miami 45-yard line. First down for Green Bay. Hall sets himself at the fullback position. And Rodgers will fake the handoff. Rodgers, strong throw over the middle. Jordy Nelson hauls it in for another first down for the Packers. Benny Sapp in on coverage.
Boy, what a difference that pass play looked like compared to the last couple for Aaron Rodgers. After the play fake, set his back foot and fired a strike to Nelson over the middle. As Rodgers getting a little bit of time now, creating his own time and finding Nelson back to back.
Donald Driver heads to the Green Bay sideline, replaced by Brett Swain, who's in his second year out of San Diego State. Jackson in the backfield, 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Handoff up the middle. And a 5-yard pickup there. Brandon Jackson in for the injured Ryan Grant. And now Swain will head back to the Green Bay sideline. Timeout situation. Green Bay has all 3. Miami has just 1. And the Packers facing a 2nd and 5 with just over 3 minutes to play. Jackson remains in there on 2nd down. Play fake. They handle the pressure. Rodgers throws it away. And could be a hold as well. Penalty marker right where Rodgers made that extra move.
Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And it's Balaga trying to deal with Cameron Wake.
And I can't understand why they're not giving Balaga some help. When you scout a team, you find out who their best pass rusher is. And in this case, it's number 91. And he's been in Rodgers' face all day long. Balaga doing a decent job there, but once Rodgers comes out of the pocket, that right hand grabbing the jersey of Wake is seen by the official Ed Hockley, and he'll throw the flag every time.
Green Bay 323 total yards. Miami has put up 354. Rodgers on the brink of cracking 300. 2nd and 15. Rodgers throwing. Incomplete. He was trying to hit Corliss in stride, playing without Jermichael Finley, and Donald Lee is not 100%. So we've seen more of Andrew Quarless and Tom Crabtree, young tight ends trying to step in for the Packers.
And great coverage by Carlos Dansby, the middle linebacker. A little bit of contact right there. That's what the fans are complaining about. Got his left hand out there, ball out in front of Quarless, but Dansby, a former wide receiver in high school, looked like he was running the route for Aaron Rodgers.
And a former strong safety in college at Auburn. 3rd and 15. Rodgers, the quick throw, nice move there by Driver, and then he's buried at the 30-yard line. They'll give him a gain to the 29, and it's decision time now for the Green Bay Packers with 2:30 and counting left in the fourth.
I think there's no question you go for it here. Can't afford to give the ball back to Miami, although you have 3 timeouts. Mike McCarthy's made his decision.
4th and 7. Packers do not appear to be in a rush to get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they can let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning without drawing a penalty, so maybe they will talk this over on the sidelines. McCarthy will want to talk to Rodgers and ask him what he likes best in this situation.
2 minutes to play at Lambeau. Miami holding on to a 7-point lead. 2 minutes to play in Green Bay. Miami 20, Packers 13. A 4th and 7 for the Packers at the 29-yard line. Shotgun, Rodgers. Steps, throws, first down. Greg Jennings, and Jennings breaking a tackle. Brought down inside the 10. They needed 7, and they were able to get 20.
And the smart thing is they went to their biggest threat. Greg Jennings with Jermichael Finley out. Rodgers with great protection that time. Jennings gets inside Vontae Davis, and he ain't done yet. Inside the 10. And now the Packers can work the clock with 3 timeouts and make sure they get in the end zone.
Rodgers over 300 yards passing. 1st and goal for Green Bay. Packers trail by 7. Rush coming. Rodgers. He tried to go airborne, and Rodgers is brought down at the 2-yard line by Jason Allen.
If I'm Miami right now, I'm calling timeout. They're 1 yard away, the Packers are, from tying this game up with a touchdown and a conversion. Great effort by Rodgers right there, trying to split the tacklers. Donald Driver trying to pull his pal into the end zone.
Aaron Rodgers, question mark early in the week whether he would be able to even play today because of the concussion he suffered against Washington. Right now he's trying to lead the Packers to a game-tying touchdown. 34 seconds left. And a timeout call. Packers facing a 2nd and goal, just shy of the 1-yard line. Well, a few weeks ago, Miami, big goal line stand against Minnesota. The Vikings on a 4th and 1 at the 1-yard line, just over 2 minutes left. Adrian Peterson stopped by Carlos Dansby, and Miami got the win. One of their 2 road victories in Minnesota, in Buffalo. They're yet to win at home with losses to New York and to New England.
And that was on the road in Minneapolis. Adrian Peterson, and they stopped him cold.
2nd and goal for Green Bay. Sellout crowd here at Lambeau. TJ Lang in as an extra offensive lineman. Inside handoff, it's Kuhn. And Kuhn comes up short. It'll be 3rd and goal with 28 seconds left and the clock is moving. Carlos Dansby in on that stop.
Timeout, yeah. Packers have got to call timeout here.
They do, with 22 seconds left on the clock. 3rd and goal coming up for Rodgers and the Packers.
You know, they hand the ball off to Kuhn, who's lined up as a fullback. And I'd rather give it to the tailback for obvious reasons in the I formation there. Use your fullback as a blocker. Let your tailback pick his way or go over the top. Kind of like old Sam Bam Cunningham used to do for the USC Trojans and the New England Patriots. When you give the ball to the up back, if any penetration at all will stop the fullback short of the end zone, as they did that time.
Ball is placed inside the 1. Packers looking for the equalizer. Green Bay down by 7. Kuhn and Johnson in the backfield. It's Kuhn. He's stopped. Miami has done it again. 16 seconds left. Jeremiah Bell coming in to make that play. It's 4th down for the Packers.
Trying to hit off the right side here. Kuhn cannot get up in the air because of the penetration of Bell. Bell was so low, so deep into the backfield. Watch number 37, right side of the screen. Nobody blocks him. He takes the legs out from Kuhn and stops him well short. In fact, he lost yardage or lost inches on that play.
Head coach Mike McCarthy, who also calls the play for the Packers, he's got to focus on the 4th down play now. It's 4th and goal from the 1. 16 seconds remaining. Does Miami have one more stop left in them? Rodgers operating out of the gun. Kuhn goes in motion. Miami wants a timeout. And they get it. 16 seconds left. Miami up by 7. And the Packers will have 4th and goal coming up. And also coming up, Subway postgame show. JB and the rest of the crew, scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Interesting formation the Packers came out in with. Spread the field. Rodgers in the shotgun. Nobody else in the backfield. It looked like the Dolphins were prepared to come after him with the all-out blitz. And Tony Sparano from the sideline saw something he didn't like. He raced down the sidelines to call timeout before Rodgers could get the ball snapped.
Here's your ball game. Shotgun formation. 4th and goal. Packers trying to tie this one up. Rodgers will go conventional, and he will do it himself. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Rodgers into the end zone. An extra point away from tying it up.
Was that too easy? There's nobody else in the backfield. Who else is going to run the ball? And did you see Darren College pat his right hip telling Rodgers where to run the ball before the ball was snapped? Rodgers saw that signal, came up under center, took the snap, and strolled into the end zone.
Aaron Rodgers has put Green Bay in position to tie it up. Mason Crosby adds the extra point with 13 seconds remaining here at Lambeau.
Go back to the touchdown. Aaron Rodgers getting communication from his left guard, Darren College. Watch the right-hand signal right there. Rodgers sees that, and he also sees a huge hole right here. The Dolphins are standing up, watching Kuhn go in motion. Rodgers walks through the back of the end zone and into the loving arms of the Lambeau fans. Wow, what a touchdown. Dolphins totally confused, walking around. There's the snap, there's the touchdown.
Now before they know it, Rodgers is in the end zone.
I mean, both Chris Clemens and Jeremiah Bell were trying to communicate something about the formation. Didn't notice Rodgers coming up under center.
On that drive, 2 of 2 on 4th down, including the touchdown run by Rodgers. 12 plays, 69 yards. We are knotted up at 20 apiece with 13 seconds remaining. And Crosby will kick it off. Nolan Carroll is the deep man. And he won't even get a chance to touch it, but this was a short kick. Miami will have the football at the 44-yard line. Lou Polite, one of the up men, with 10 seconds left. And the Dolphins will have a shot here. A quick hitter to the sideline.
What a great catch by Polite. This ball is knuckling at about 70, 80 miles an hour right at him. He hung with it. And this is the target line now. About 20 yards is needed for Carpenter, but only 10 seconds left and no timeouts for Miami. So this ball has to be thrown either all the way to the end zone for a touchdown try or to the sidelines and out of bounds.
10 seconds left, tied at 20. Henne from the gun. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, sideline. And a flag down, 2 flags thrown, and bodies down as well.
We may have illegal contact called against the Packers. I don't think this would be called pass interference. The flags were thrown before the ball was thrown.
Marshall and Woodson both slow to get up.
Charles Woodson, the injured Packers player.
The Dolphins had 3 receivers to that side trying to get Hartline along the sidelines. He was lined up inside running an out route. Marshall running deep. Let's hear what Hockley has to say.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal contact, defense, number 21. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down. There is also a timeout charge. It's an excess charge timeout to Green Bay for the injured player. There is no penalty that is carried with that timeout.
This is actually a good play by Woodson because it happened before the ball was thrown. Only 5 yards and they lose 6 seconds off the clock. There's the bunch formation. There's the contact. Marshall and Woodson. Hartline's going to cut to the outside. That's where Henning was going to throw this ball. And there are the flags being thrown. That penalty does not hurt the Packers.
So it turns out to be a smart play for Woodson. Costs them only 5 yards. And look at the time that came off the clock. That's it. Miami didn't even get a playoff.
Well, they took a knee instead of trying the Hail Mary play. Now, I don't understand that at all. You got one more play.
Overtime here in Green Bay. Miami and the Packers tied at 20. How did we get to this point? Miami getting the touchdown. Henne to Devon Bess. Packers able to answer with Rodgers throwing the deep ball to Jennings for the score late in the game. For Miami, Henne to the tight end Fasano. Takes the distance for the Dolphins to go in front by 7. Packers, though, Aaron Rodgers, a sneaky play for the touchdown to tie this one up. Overtime, Packers and Dolphins. Last time that the Green Bay Packers played back-to-back overtime games, you have to go back to October of 1987. They lost the first one, won the second one. They're hoping to do the same here today as the Packers kick it off with Crosby. Nolan Carroll. And tripped up as he crossed the 25-yard line. Maurice Simpkins making the play on special teams, and Chad Henne and the Dolphins offense on the field with the line of scrimmage at the 25.
It'll be interesting to see what Dan Henning has in mind. Remember, start of the second half after the game was tied at halftime, the Dolphins came out in that third quarter and dominated on the ground between the tackles, running right at the depleted defense of the Packers. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the same type of game plan as we start overtime.
And Charles Woodson, who was banged up at the end of regulation, is out there for Green Bay. On first down, Henne to throw, floats it upstairs, incomplete. Hartline drawing Woodson on that side of the field. It's 2nd and 10.
I'm not so sure that's a good play selection going against Charles Woodson, who just seems to have a knack for making the big play. Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL last year. Not only does he intercept passes, he takes them back for touchdowns.
Miami today, 221 passing yards, 132 yards on the ground, 353 total yardage. Hartline goes in motion on a 2nd and 10. Henne sets up the screen. Ronnie Brown is banged down. He picks up 3. Cullen Jenkins, strong defensive play for the Packers. It's 3rd down coming up for Miami.
Yeah, real good job by Cullen Jenkins and Desmond Bishop. Here's Jenkins right here. He recognizes his screen. Watch his reaction here as he'll get in behind the blockers of Miami. Bishop takes him in front. Jenkins from behind.
Third and long. Henny looks downfield. Henny throws into double coverage. It's broken up. Brandon Marshall, the intended target. Nick Collins ranging over to make the play for Green Bay. Dolphins forced a punt.
3 straight passes from the Dolphins. You talked about those 132 yards rushing they've had today. That's a poor choice by Henny. Henny throwing this ball into double coverage. He's lucky this wasn't picked off. Packers are going to get great field position when they get the ball.
Brandon Fields to punt. Tremont Williams standing. Back of the 25, backpedals now. Williams trying to go back the other way. Hole opens up, and Williams with a flag down. Makes his move to the 30-yard line. Tyrone Culver, the play on special teams. 50-yard punt and a 7-yard return for the talented cornerback.
They're going to get Corey Hall for an illegal block in the back, so the Packers are not going to get great field position after that punt.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 35. It's a 10-yard penalty. Green Bay will keep the ball, first down.
And it is Hall. And the Packers now move back 10 yards. Next Sunday, NFL on CBS delivers doubleheader action, highlighted in the first game, the Steelers against the Dolphins. Then in game 2, you'll see the Patriots taking on the Chargers or Oakland at Denver. It all begins live at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. 16-yard line, that's where Green Bay opens up this drive. Packers' first possession of overtime, tied at 20. Running play to Jackson. And Jackson bangs his way to the 20-yard line, 4-yard pickup. Crowder will be given credit for the stop for Miami. That injury there for Miami. It's Carlos Dansby grabbing his left knee. Oh boy. Dansby has been such a difference maker for the Dolphins. And getting himself upright, Dansby will limp off on his own. Signed the big deal, 5 years, $43 million from Arizona. It's been a tackling machine for the Dolphins. Bobby Carpenter will step in and replace him, at least on this next play.
Well, this is the first game he's been able to play side by side with Channing Crowder. And now if this is a serious injury right there at the very end of the play, you can see him go down as Jackson is tackled at the 20-yard line.
Medical staff will take a look at him. There is Carpenter in his 5th year out of Ohio State, former Dallas Cowboy. 2nd and 6 for the Packers. Crabtree sets up in front of Jackson. Fake the handoff. Rodgers takes a look downfield, didn't like what he saw, and now tries to throw it away as he got out of the pocket, chased by Tony McDaniel. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Through that lefty.
Yeah, this is a desperation attempt by Aaron Rodgers. He's under a lot of pressure. Legal play by Rodgers. Watch the left-handed toss there for the incomplete. Saves the yardage.
Doesn't have quite the same motion, lefty. Mason Crosby trying to get him into a comfort zone. They still have a lot of yards to make up here. 3rd and 6. First trying to convert this 3rd down. Rodgers is dumped.
That's Wake at the bottom of the pile too. What an effort as Bulaga had him blocked. As Rodgers steps up into the pocket, Wake from his knees reaches out and pulls the quarterback down. 3rd sack of the afternoon for Cameron Wake. Just an outstanding effort. Good job by Bulaga. He's got him blocked here. But watch here. As he's going down, he reaches out and grabs Rodgers' left leg. Wow.
5th sack overall for the Miami defense. Packers go 3 and out. Mastay the punt. They didn't get all of that one. Devon Best ranging over and brings it in right near midfield. And the Miami Dolphins with a golden opportunity to get out of Lambeau with a victory after the 37-yard punt. Dolphins will have it at the 48-yard line.
Carpenter nailed a 53-yarder at the end of the first half going in the other direction. Wind is not that much of a factor today. If he does have any wind at all, it will be at his back.
First down Miami. 12:46 to go in OT. Double tight end set, Fasano and Schuler. On a pitch for Ricky Williams. And Williams brought down after the gain of 2 right at midfield. Frank Zombo there defensively. Important game for this Miami squad. Take a look at the schedule. Pittsburgh at home next week, then on the road at Cincinnati, at Baltimore, with Tennessee, Chicago coming up in November, and at Oakland, a long trip for Sperano and company. Pittsburgh getting a victory today. Chicago came up short. This is a 2nd and 8 now for the Dolphins. Henne, protection is there, and Henne, safety valve to Von Bess, and he ducks out of bounds. He's got a first down. Green Bay territory, right at the marker. The protection has been there all day for Chad Henne and the Dolphins.
Well, he's thrown it 39 times. Look at Bess working on the outside. Just shakes Charles Woodson, makes the catch, gets out of bounds, picks up the first down. But the protection, as you said, Ian, just a solid wall in front of Henne. The time to move in the pocket, find Bess, pick up the first down.
Lex Hilliard is checked into the game in front of Ricky Williams. New set of downs for Miami to work with. They're on the move here in overtime. Handoff straight ahead. It's Williams crossing the 40-yard line. He picks up 4 yards, hit by B.J. Raji of Green Bay, and Carpenter is getting ready.
Yeah, another 10 yards or so will make him real comfortable.
Now, right now, you're looking at a 56-yard field goal. He made one in the first half from 53, his career long, right at the end of the second quarter. 2nd and 6 for the Dolphins. Keep it on the ground. Ricky Williams finding some daylight, and he's got a first down. Miami churning out yards on the ground. That's an 8-yard gain with a powerful run by Williams.
Yeah, it's just good old-fashioned lead football. You talked about Hilliard, 26, the lead blocker here. Richie Incognito comes over on the power. He wipes out the linebacker. And this, again, it's the injuries to this Packer defense that's really showing up now as the Dolphins just overpowering the Packers up front.
Now it's Ronnie Brown along with Lex Hilliard. 1st and 10, just shy of the 30-yard line. Handoff, Brown. He finds an opening and falls forward for a pickup of 4 yards on the play. Charlie Pepra among those there for Green Bay. So right now, if they get no more yards on this drive, it's a 45-yard field goal attempt.
And obviously Carpenter likes the ball on the left hash mark because that's where they ran the ball that time. A lot of kickers have a preference because they'll aim at one upright or the other.
Just to think that this game might come down to special teams considering everything that happened 13 days ago against New England.
More irony, huh?
Timeout. Packers. 9:46 remaining in overtime. Dan Carpenter, a Pro Bowler last year, and earlier today from 53 yards away. Now keep in mind the circumstances. He had nailed the 43-yarder. Penalty was called. They had to back it up 10 yards, and Carpenter split the uprights on that second attempt.
And that was going in the other direction with the this direction. You can see this is the set of goalposts he's going to be aiming at. And that wind is very, very favorable for Dan Carpenter.
2nd and 6 coming up for Miami. A timeout taken by the Packers. Strange game. But just the way this one was unfolding, we get late game fireworks from Miami with Fasano, and then Green Bay converts on 2 4th downs, including a 4th and goal from the 1 to get the game tying touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. 2nd and 6. They're at the Green Bay 26. Handoff. Ronnie Brown bouncing off a tackler and then thrown down by Charles Woodson. Give him a gain of about a half a yard on the play. First man there was Desmond Bishop to slow him down, and looks like they're going to kick the field goal right now. Carpenter takes the field. Green Bay does have 1 timeout remaining if they're looking to ice Carpenter and the Dolphins.
Dolphins have a great snapper in John Denny.
44-yard field goal attempt for the win in overtime. Carpenter, kick is on the way, and he nails it. Dolphins get the victory in Green Bay, and they do it with special teams in overtime. 23-20. Miami remains undefeated on the road, 3-0. The Packers fall to 3-3 overall. Tony Sperano and company, embarrassing loss 13 days ago, a nightmare against New England. They bounce back here at Lambeau.
Got to give the Dolphins a lot of credit, too. They overcame quite a bit today. That bye week was well used by the Dolphins. Special teams, been a disaster. Special teams today win it for the Dolphins. Perfect snap, good hold by Fields, and Carpenter was spot on.
The consistency of Dan Carpenter, 53-yarder earlier, and he knocks this one through from 44 yards away to get the win. Special teams coach Darren Rizzi, new job for him. He's got to love the result. Miami 23-20 over Green Bay in overtime. Coming up next, the Subway postgame show. For Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Green Bay. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. We'll join James Brown in New York right after this.